Hi friends, a very good evening to all of you. And let's all welcome Atul Vasan today here. Luxury meets former Indian cricketer and commentator Atul Vasan. So let's
Hi.
all welcome him.
Thank you. Thank
Hi.
you.
Good evening, Atul. A very warm welcome on Madhvi's
Thank you.
Luxury Talk Show, where Luxury
Thank you.
meets former cricketer and commentator Atul Vasan. So Atul, today we would love to know your journey and your story to becoming a cricketer and then a commentator. If you can tell us about how it happened.
Well, it's like any other story of any young boy. Cricket became a religion after we won the World Cup in 1983. And then, million dreams were spawned. And I was at the right age. I was 14 years of age, 13 years of age at that time. And then started playing seriously. And I was good at sports. So that was the only gradual progression towards formal coaching and all that happened. And then started playing for Delhi under 15, Delhi under 19, Delhi Ranji Trophy, Delhi University, Indian universities. So, that was the way forward. There was no IPL at that time. So we had to go through a lot of grind to get the Delhi Ranji Trophy team. And that used to be a big thing in our time because Delhi was like halfway house to in playing for India because Delhi already had 5-7 international players. And Delhi Mumbai rivalry was very famous. So but these times are different. These boys probably have got it easier because they can catch the eye of the talent scouts, of the selectors in IPL and other tournaments.
Nice to know that. And what do you have to say about the IPL now? Do you think it's a really good idea the Cricket Association has come up with, and it's better than just the cricket matches which used to happen and keep us all excited to see the India-Pakistan match? What do you have to say about that?
I think it's wonderful. It's actually, people who are the purists, who are old generation, they don't like it too much. They feel that probably it's over commercialization of cricket. But it has given a livelihood to cricketers. Even if you don't play for India and you play IPL, your career is secure. You can say that you are a professional cricketer. Even playing after playing for India, we did not have this luxury because we did not have the facilities and we had to look for a job. Because what do you do if you're not in the Indian team and you only play Ranji Trophy? You don't get any money. So this has provided a lot of stability in the careers of cricketers, and also people like it. I mean, I call it a product where cricket is a part of this product. So no, it is just not cricket. For the purist, you can see test matches, one days. But for people who don't have that long of an attention span, they're not like traditional cricket followers. This is a product where they can go enjoy it, and they see cricket, they see the ambience, they see the atmosphere, and everybody has a good time. And it's perfect time in the year when we've got, and with the television boom, it goes all over the year, all over the world, and even the diaspora, Indian who are living all over the world. It is a way to connect with India. So that is why it's become so popular all over the world.
Absolutely. Very, very well said and expressed, I must say. And what, according to you, has changed in the cricket scenario then and now?
Well, if you see the quality of cricket, I think the fitness levels have gone up tremendously because it is a profession. You have to work really hard for your livelihood. You have to be fit because you're lot more diving and lot of aspect on physical training. In our days, probably skill was paramount. There was more focus on skill rather than fitness, and that's why you see probably the former cricketers were not very fit per se if you compare with today's cricketers. But skill was foremost. And India has always been good in on the specially turning tracks, the hand-eye coordination of Indians or any players from the subcontinent, which includes Sri Lanka, Pakistan, India. You can see that's why a lot of English players or Australian players used to come to India and struggle on the turning tracks because the wrists are not that supple. So Indian players' wrists are very good. So that's why they are very risky, very flicky. That's why we used to be good at hockey as well. We used to win the World Cup or the Olympic medal every time because hockey used to be played on natural turf. And then the natural grass, you don't know which way the ball is going. So, when you have a good hand-eye coordination, you've got good wrists you can control. And hence India was the best in the world. But unfortunately, hockey moved on to AstroTurf, where the paramount focus was on running and hitting the ball, where Indians don't match up to probably Caucasians or blacks. And that's why we started losing. But in cricket, there is still a lot of element of skill. And hence, that is the big change, which I find, and our players are getting fitter. And when they have got the skill, that's why India has become almost the best team in the world. And thanks to the killer instinct of players like Mahendra Singh Dhoni and then on to Virat Kohli, that we are dominating world cricket.
True, true, absolutely. And this is the most popular sport, I think, all over the world, I believe, now. And this is my personal question because I've been very curious about it, that why and how come there are no women commentators? Why is it always only the men who are there as commentators?
No, it's changed. I think last 2-3 years since IPL, even this England and Pakistan series, I see a couple of female commentators are there. Lisa is there, and then there are a lot of and Anjum Chopra from India, former Indian cricketer, is doing a lot of commentary. So gradually they are coming into men's cricket, but probably the thinking of the studios used to be, or the carrying channel used to be, that probably they wanted players who have been there, done it in that kind of a format. So, but now they realize that the female audience is also there, and they want a different perspective. So they're getting a lot of female commentators in it.
Right now, maybe it's picking up. And what do you have to say about the women cricket team and the women cricketers? That are they better than the men, or men are better than women as cricketers? And if so, why?
Well, you broke your question in two parts. Women are better than men. Period. Okay. If you say women are better cricketers than men, that is debatable. But it's entirely different product. Because I find it hard to believe that there is a lot of demand for it, but we have to actually promote it for it to reach a certain level where the traction comes and people start following it. But anybody who is a fan of fast-paced men's cricket like IPL, where you see a lot of big hitting, diving, catching, and a lot of physical aggression and involvement, they will be disappointed if they just watch women's cricket. But having said that, we should not say that we should not promote it, because it's got a different audience. Maybe to fill in the gaps. But if women's cricket competes with men's cricket, then they will lose definitely. If you want to compare it with the eyeballs or the money or revenue.
But why do you have to say that?
Yeah, because it's economics. You put out an ad for advertising in a women's game, and let the world decide. You'll see there will be no takers, because not many people will watch women's cricket when something of men's is on. You understand? So it's a very esoteric, very kind of a unique kind of a product. So we should not compare it at all. We should not compare it at all, because market forces will decide. You and me cannot. So if a person is willing to pay $10,000 for a 10-second slot, you will not even get $1,000 for women's cricket. That is a reality. We can't refute that.
I don't know. You never know, because there was a challenge I was given by the boys when I was in school, that girls cannot play cricket, and I was the one who was batting and giving shots one after the other, and the guys were like zapped and looking. So you never know.
Well, people say I can't play chess, but I can play chess, but poorly. I can still play chess, but I can play poorly.
Okay. So, and do you think there is a lot of politics in cricket?
I think there is more politics in cricket than in actual politics.
Okay. And now with Corona.
Sorry, I lost you. I think you. Okay, got it. You're going to repeat that question.
About Corona, I mean, Corona, sorry. So, how do you see the scenario of cricket with the audience and also?
Yeah, I think so. It's a problem for cricketers, because your game is taken to another level when there is a lot of support and the pressure is there, and it's quite a weird feeling. Even watching, I don't know. I've not been to the ground where there's no, but we saw the last two series in England versus West Indies and England versus Pakistan now. It's hard for the players, because that kind of connect with the audience, you need to lift your game. But what can you do? This is the time we live in, and this is the only way forward. At least we are having some live sporting event. We were so bored for the last 4-5 months with not having any sporting event. And when you are a junkie, you want sport every day, and you not get anything, then even without audience, I don't mind.
And future of sports.
I'm getting a question. Sunita is asking also about me. Yeah, why not? I've been coaching girls. Why not? And I think there is a system where everybody is creating opportunities for women to come to even young girls, and even the structure. Since the women's board were taken over by the men's board, a lot of money has come into women's cricket, and there are proper coaching at every level, even under 15. There are proper matches, and board is throwing a lot of money in it. So I think eventually they will have their own ecosystem to survive without the help of men's cricket. And yes, Sunita, I'm okay with coaching girls. Yes.
And future of sports with so much of international travel restrictions. So where do you see it going?
You know what to do. I mean, that's why I think IPL has been moved to Dubai, because considering Dubai is the best place to have it. First of all, its connectivity across the world is the best, and all the foreign players can reach Dubai. They have to come to India, there was not a problem. Secondly, I think Dubai is all the hotels are empty. They've got 4 world-class grounds. They've got one in Sharjah, 2 in Dubai, and 1 in Abu Dhabi, and all within 1 hour driving distance of each other. So, and all the hotels, they can be in the bio bubble, which is needed. Because all the players have to be cool. They can't be interacting with people, the coaching staff, the coaching. Everybody has to be in that bubble to make sure that there are no infections. And I think this is not the perfect way to host the tournament, but what to do? So I think they don't have to. But if it was happening in India, then you have to travel from Delhi, Bombay, Mohali, Chandigarh, Bangalore, Chennai. It would have been a nightmare to just contain the team and the support staff in a bio bubble. But in Dubai, I think it is doable.
Dubai is also got COVID-free, kind of. And, if you can tell about, companies that you have right now.
Sorry?
The companies that you have right now, you are what companies and what is the work that the companies do?
My companies?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, I told you, we were a generation where we had to make a living after we retired. We didn't have anything to fall back on. So either I was working for Air India, but then I gave up my job and started my own business, which was I was always independent, and I had a Punjabi entrepreneurial Kida in me. So I started my own electronics company, and by grace of God, things are good, and I'm enjoying my life. I do a bit of cricket also, because that's my be all and end all. So I don't try and get too much far away from my roots, and I keep on connected. I'm the chairman of selectors for Delhi. I mean, Virat Kohli is from my cricket academy. I can take credit that I discovered him when he was 12 years old. So that gives a lot of satisfaction. I still help a lot of cricketers in my own way, whatever I can do, and then I get right into all the nasty debates on news channels. Maybe you've seen me with Arnav fighting, and for the cause of cricket. So that's what I am.
Wonderful. Now there's a rapid fire round for you. Yeah. So, Atul, for you, is it hard work or smart work?
Hard work, but without smartness, even hard work goes waste.
Okay. And cricketer or a commentator?
Cricketer, obviously. I mean, commentary, people will tolerate you only if they know that you have played the game. Nobody tolerates a commentator who has not played.
True. And your favorite one-liner to motivate in tough times?
This too shall pass.
To the youngsters who want to pursue cricket as a profession?
Be sensible about it. Don't have overestimation. I think the parents put a lot of pressure now because they see the glamour and the money now, and there's a lot more pressure by the parents and on kids to become cricketer. You cannot make a cricketer. It's too much hard work. You can imagine in the last 85 years, there have only been 294 test players from India. So you do the mathematics. How many billion people were there in the last 85 years, and you've only got 294 players who played for India. So if you consider this, then you will know that how hard it is. You should not build your dreams too much unless you are that good. You don't go get swayed by the adulation of your parents or your core that you're very good. You got to go for a reality check, and then water finds its own level. A good player cannot be missed out, and a poor player cannot be taken to the top level. That's my thing.
True. Absolutely. And for commentators, any advice who want to becoming a commentator?
Well, I am trying to improve myself, so how can I give advice? But I think, there is a controversy going in cricket that commentators are asked not to say certain things, which I find very stifling, because commentary has to be neutral. If a board says to me that you cannot talk bad about this board and they are my master, then I think there is some conflict of interest, and that's why there's an issue going on. So I think commentary should be totally detached from who pays your money and which channel you're on, and you're supposed to speak your mind and bring the spectator as close to the action as possible. Add to the picture, because it's a television medium. You see what's happening on the screen. So if you just say the obvious, okay, the guy is chasing the ball and it's gone over the rope, I saw that, but tell us how it went. What was the story behind it? So that is the secret of commentary.
In the near future, it's a very good suggestion that you are giving. And Even any of your good experience? I mean, you've traveled so many places as a cricketer. So, which has been the best place according to you? And if I may ask you that, any experience for you as a cricketer as well as a commentator?
Well, I'm crazy about traveling. I've been to 99 countries so far, so I've played and coached and commentated in about 30 countries already. Playing wise, the hardest my first tour was Australia, New Zealand. That is the toughest place for a youngster to go and play. And if you do well there, then your heart is this big because then you've gone over that final hurdle. England is very challenging for bowlers. I played 12 years of county cricket, so I enjoyed playing my time there and whatever I know of life, of how to balance work and pleasure. That's why probably I was, as I say, I didn't play many matches for India because I was very, multi-dimensional. I was not very unidimensional to actually focus just on cricket. Even when I used to play in England, I used to just take my backpack, travel to Europe and go roam around cities for 4 or 5 days in Europe, back and come back and play match. And that's what that's been ever since I've been traveling. And but it's added value to my life. Probably people come and say, you should have played 50 matches. And I said, yes, but I was not good enough to play 50 because I was interested in other things. And that's what I did.
Well,
Sorry?
as a commentator, any experience or
Oh yeah, brilliant. My first commentary stint was actually my debut in commentary was the Lord's Test match where Rahul Dravid and Saurav Ganguly made their playing debut, and Saurav got 100. And my stint was with Jeffrey Boycott, so it was a dream come true. So it was like they threw me in the deep end. And my first Test match at Lords, I played. Actually, when I toured with England to Indian team to England, I did not play the Lords Test match. So I missed out playing at Lords the Test match in 1990. I played the Test match at Oval. But my debut, my first match as a commentator was at the Lords, where Saurav made his debut and he got 100. So that's quite a special memory.
can we hear something as a commentator from you? Is that possible?
Well, that's what I've been doing. This is what we're talking live and in our own way. वैसे हिंदी करते हैं. अच्छा सबसे बड़ी बात है कि हम हिंदी भी कमेंट्री करते हैं, इंग्लिश में करते हैं, पंजाबी में भी करी मैंने कमेंट्री. So देखो languages क्या है? It's the articulation of your thoughts and in a way where people get entertained also just by stating the obvious without adding to the picture. So that's my style of commentary. Doesn't suit many channels. That's why I don't get many commentary jobs as well.
Right. And any message you would like to give to the cricket fraternity since we are here live audience? Any message?
Well, I think I hope our senior cricketers who are still around, like I worry about Vishal Singh Bedi. These times, he's been my mentor, and a lot of other cricketers who have actually that's why I tell the new breed of cricketers that. And sometimes I feel that they are too money-minded because they live in this environment of a lot of finance and sponsorships and $1 million deals going on. Probably they forget to respect the kind of lineage, the kind of timeline where old cricketers who were probably much less money than you, but they were great players, but they added to the picture. That's why you are here and you are getting the benefit of these times. But you should not disrespect the players who came before you.
True, absolutely. And as you know, the program is about Madhvi's Luxury.co. I would like to know the definition of luxury according to you.
My luxury is getting up in the morning, having food on the table, whatever you want to eat, and not be there to go somewhere where somebody wants you there. You should be the king of your own world, and that is the biggest luxury. To do whatever you want, whenever you want, eat whatever you want, wear whatever you want, and nobody to bother you. That's the biggest luxury.
Beautiful, lovely. There's a question that how are Sachin and Virat in person?
Quite chalk and cheese, actually. But one thing, the common denominator is the focus because Sachin has spent a lot of time. We were roommates in Australia. He was 17, I was 22. And then he came and stayed with me in England. I used to play county. He never used to play. He came. So we spent a lot of time. And then the kind of focus for a 16, 17-year-old is you can't learn. It was God given to him, But Virat I saw from very early days and very boisterous, very aggressive, like a Punjabi lady boy, And eventually, but he realized that he could lose all of it because of his impetuousness and his casualness. And at one point, his coach was my best friend, Rajkumar, and we had to slap him and tell him, he'd already played for India, that if you do this, then you will be just like a flash in the pan, probably like me. But then eventually he got on track and became so focused and so hardworking. And he's the kind of a template a young cricketer should follow if you really want to go the full distance.
And somehow looking at him, I thought there is something magical about him. There's some, X factor in him. So I think mostly
I missed you. Sorry, I
said
missed
there
you.
is in Virat Kohli. I happened to meet him when he was playing under 21.
Yes.
So
Yeah, I was actually selector. I was the chairman of selector. Luckily, when Virat and Ishant had just won the World Cup for India under 19, and they had come back, and I was selector for Ranji Trophy. And in the Delhi, there's a lot of politics, so they didn't want them to play Ranji Trophy because they wanted to adjust two players. They said, "अभी तो under 19 के लड़के हैं, इनको एक दो साल अभी खेलने दो, फिर Ranji Trophy खिलाएंगे." मैंने नहीं, they are ready. They are these boys. We should not waste time with them. And the same year, I got both of them playing for Ranji Trophy, and Ishant immediately played, and Virat followed suit. So yeah, I feel glad that actually I was there at the helm to actually deflect this kind of politics, and they saved a couple of years.
Lovely, beautiful. And if you could give a message to the audience on COVID-19.
Well, just stay safe, and I think don't make it out to be such a big thing. It's part of life. This too shall pass. Be safe, and just follow what the authorities. And actually, there's a lot of confusion in what we are learning. Every day we're learning new things. But one thing is for sure, doctors have found better ways to treat you. Earlier they were flying in blind. They never knew what it is. In fact, I was in China on the 10th of January, and I was in Guangzhou, another city, and I heard things were going on in China keep on going. And at the time it hit the news. Suddenly from Wuhan, I landed at the flight in Thailand. 18,000 people landed from Wuhan that day. It could have gone anywhere. Nobody knew at that time what this was. So, and now I thought it will get over in May, June. We are already in August, and as things going on, we are waiting for vaccine. So don't hold out and don't be in your indoors. Just follow the standard operating procedures. Be safe, but don't change your life totally. You can't actually tempt fate by just staying in. What happens is, even somebody like Amitabh Bachchan, who is probably he's also has got a lot of health problems. Even if he can catch it, in spite of all the precautions he took, I mean, what more can you do?
Absolutely. And if you can tell us, why do you think that cricket is a more popular game and most popular than any of the other sports? What's the reason,
I think it's in our DNA. It's a sport where एक तो time बड़ा लगता है और हमारे पास बहुत time है हिंदुस्तानियों के पास आराम से 5 दिन बैठ के देखते हैं. It's a British sport. We have taken over it, and suddenly because of 1983 World Cup, before that, hockey and cricket were like almost similar with popularity. Football has become very popular with the kids I see, but I know it's not going to go much because we are not designed to be footballers. We cannot compete with South Americans and Europeans in football. But cricket, again, I said, because you've got the hand-eye coordination, we've got the supple limbs, and we've got the temperament. Because, you need a kind of abstract temperament to play cricket. Because you've got to stand in the field for 5 days. So if you are very linear, you can't play cricket. That's why many countries were like, they're very good in other sports. But to play cricket, you need another kind of a temperament. And India has got that temperament.
True, absolutely. Thank you so much for being here on the show and taking out your time. By the way, I happen to have I'm with, your wife Sonu Vasan at Anjana Kutialaji's talk show.
She's there. There she is.
What? Hi.
You know Wendy? Wendy Bera?
Yeah, hi.
She's with Anjana Kutiala also.
She's been there on the show already. So now I think Sonu is due to be here. So have a wonderful...
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Have a great...
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi, I hope you had a great time, and they are on a trip to Mussoorie, and I was able to catch them. It's really nice of Atul to have been here on the show. And as you know that all those who have missed the show can watch it on YouTube, and please subscribe it, like it, and share it as much as possible. And as you all know that I'm on board with real estate, hospitality, art, destination weddings, fashion designers, jewelry designers, talk from our country. Any queries related to any of these segments, you can get in touch with madhvisluxury.co. We also have on board with us specialists from finance, law, chartered accountants. So any queries related to even these, you all can get in touch at madhvisluxury.co. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening. Bye.